Hello kids, and welcome to my science tutorials for kids. In today's video, we want to look at place values where we'll be attempting some practical questions on place value. So we have here one example, and the question says, what is the place value of 0 in 209? What is the place value of 0 in 209? All right, so the first thing we do is we write down our solution. So we write down our number, which is 209, and then we assign the place value. Now, if you watch our first video on place value, you know that we start assigning place value from our right to our left. So let me use a different color to give the place values over here. So the first number from my right is what we call the ones, and then the second number after that is what we call the tens, and then the number after that is what we call the hundreds, and then it continues in that way. Now, if you read the question is saying what is the place value of 0? Okay, and so this is the number 0, the one I am putting in a box. This is the number 0, and what is the place value that we've written for it? It is, let me use another color to highlight that. Now the place value we've written for it is tens, so it means the place value of 0 in 209 is tens. Okay, so you can write the place, you can write the answer is the place value of 0 in 209 is tens. Okay, and that is your correct answer. All right, so let's have a look at another question. Right, so example number 2. What is the place value of the digit 7 in these numbers? What is the place value of the digit 7 in these numbers? So we have A, 6,703.46, B, 70,213.8, and then the last one, 734,205. Now we'll be looking at how to pronounce these numbers in words and how to also write them in words later on, but for now we just want to identify the place values in this example. And the question is saying we should identify the place value of 7. So in each of the options, let's identify where the 7 is. So in this one, this is the 7. Okay, over here it is here, over here it is here. Okay, so let's write down our solution. So as always, the first thing we'll do is to write down the numbers and assign the place values to them. So let me use the orange color. So the number we have here is 6703.46. This is point or dot, not a comma. There's a difference. Okay, so now when we are assigning place value, and we have a dot, okay, anything beyond the dot has a decimal place value. This guys has a decimal place value. Okay, decimal place value, because they are after the point sign. Okay, but the ones that has place value are the ones before the dot. So the ones over here, these are the guys that has what? The place value. The ones after the decimal signs are decimal place value. So it is more or less like divided over here, something like that. So don't write it on the paper, just know that it is split there. The ones on your left has the place value, the ones on your right of the decimal point value or the dot over here are the decimal place value. Okay, so what we've learned so far is place value, not the decimal place value. So as always, the first number before the decimal point. The first number, this one is our ones, not the 6 over here. Because of the dot, you don't start from the number before the dot, so you don't start from 6, you start the number before the dot. So this is the ones, this is our tens, this is our hundreds, and then this is our thousand. The 6 is our thousand. Okay, so the question is saying what is the place value of 7? Okay, so the place value of 7 in this particular example is hundreds, as we see over here. So the place value of 7 is hundreds. Okay, hundreds. So you can write A, and then the place value is hundreds. So let me write it under this, is hundreds. Okay, so that is your answer. All right, so let's look at the second example. Okay, so the second example, we have 7 0 2 1 3.8 or 0.8. Now, like I said with the first example, when we are assigning place value, any number after the decimal point is not having a place value, it has a decimal place value. So in this example, our place value starts from the 3 over here to this direction. Okay, like I said, it is like this number is split into 2. This part has what we call the place value, which is what we are looking for, and the one after the dot or the point or the decimal is what we are saying this one has what, a decimal place value. Decimal place value, that is what we are saying. So when we want to assign the place value here, the 3 here becomes our ones. Okay, not the 8 but the 3. It's very important you understand this. And then after the ones we have the tens, and then we have the hundreds, and then after hundreds we have the thousands, and then after the thousand, the next number is what we are calling the 10,000. 10,000. Okay, so if you look at it, the number, the digit we are finding the place value for, it's 7, and 7, the place value is what, 10,000. So the B, the answer is, or the place value is 10,000. Okay, so this is our answer, 10,000. So you can write it somewhere here, 10,000. That is the place value of the 7 in example 2 or B. All right, let's look at the last one. Okay, so if you look at the last one, we have 7 3 4 comma 205. Now if you look at this, we don't have any dot or point anywhere, we only have comma. Now when we have comma, it's just to help us to be able to pronounce the numbers, so it doesn't mean anything. So long as it is not a dot or a decimal point, we don't have any decimal place value. So for this example, we start giving the place value all the way from our right to our left, so over here. So the 5 here becomes our ones, then the 0 becomes our tens, then the 2 is the hundreds. Okay, then after the hundreds, the 4 is the thousands, and then this is the 10,000, 10,000, and then the 7 is the 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. So if we look at it, the 7 is occupying the 100,000s position, and so that becomes our place value. So the place value of 7 in this number is the 100,000s. So 100,000s. Okay, so I believe this helps you explain the difference between giving a place value to a number and then a number that has a dot or a decimal point inside. So if the number has a dot or a decimal point inside, the number before the dot, so for instance this example, if we look at B, the number before the dot, this one, is the one that has the place value. The number after the decimal place value, or the point over here, doesn't have a place value, but it has a decimal place value. It is different. The question is saying we should find the value or the place value, not the decimal place value. So we start giving the ones from this side and not this side. Okay, the same thing for here. These guys are having decimal place value and these guys are having place value. Now in the next video, we'll be looking at decimal place value so that you'll be able to understand the difference between the decimal place value and the place value. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video helps you understand the concept of place value. So I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.